Hello, my name is Celeste Marion, and today we're going to talk about the student portfolio, a part of the functional academics program. The student portfolio is one of my favorite tools in the Starr Fitzgerald Functional Academics program that really helps build that healthy school-family relationship. So many times parents are wondering what their children are learning at school. So many times teachers at school are wondering what is happening at home. When we look at the student portfolio, we look at what do we know about the student as part of the assessment program. So filling out what we know about the student has to usually work in collaboration with family because they are the ones that know the student best. And it helps inform the way we select the programs to work on with our students moving forward. So let's get into it. Before we begin, I just want to make sure you have access to the Functional Academics website. Make sure that you're in there and can access the area that says portfolio. If you haven't already, make sure you have a Master Academics, Functional Academics master folder on your computer. This will be very helpful for the student portfolio section as you get into the section and start downloading the forms that you'll be printing out for your students' portfolios. So the student portfolio, again, the key to a healthy school partnership. The student portfolio is everything we know about the student. Where when we do the assessment is what do we know the student knows of the functional academics curriculum. But the student portfolio is what do we know about the student that can help us make informed decisions for programming moving forward. It's also an opportunity for family input. So many families really desire to speak with teachers and let them know what they hope their child can learn. And I know that's reciprocal for teachers working with families as well. Okay, it's also an opportunity to incorporate student voice, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So as we look at the implementation of the functional academics program, assessing the student and beginning that portfolio is right at the beginning. We want to try and gather as much information as possible about the student, again, in order to make those programming decisions moving forward. The what of the functional academics program are we going to work on with each one of our students, and the why. So the assessment, if you haven't learned already helps you. The assessment links to the curriculum and it helps you understand which components of the functional academics curriculum your students already know and understand, or where they are at in that process. The portfolio helps us understand a little bit of a bigger picture of that student, maybe if we're looking at secondary students, where they want to work when they graduate from high school. What does that future look like? What are their leisure skills? What do they enjoy doing? What do they wish they would like to do but haven't had an opportunity to do yet? What would the family like the student to be able to learn that can be crossed over between home and school? Is it cooking? Is it making breakfast for themselves? Is it tying their shoes or putting on their jacket? How about simple things like, hey, what would you like your student to learn to communicate with you in the community, in your family? When we get into those sight words programs, collaboration with family is really important. What words are around their home that they may find on a daily basis that can be practiced at school? So all of it ties in together, and the student portfolio is a great tool to do that. So the components of the portfolio, it's really easy. There's only two parts. One is the teacher's manual that walks you through why we do the portfolio, what are the pieces of the portfolio, and gives you some examples of what those forms look like and what the areas are. And then the student portfolio itself. Each student will have their own portfolio. Usually we take the portfolio forms and we put them in a 2-inch ring binder so that it can grow over time. Okay, so you're going to have a binder for each one of your students available in your classroom setup. Okay. So as setting up those additional student portfolios, make sure you write the names on each one of the student portfolios, cover and spine, so when they're nicely organized on the shelf, you can see and pull them easily. Place those tabs that are included in the teaching materials kit or in those bundles inside of the 3-ring binders, and then the forms you will print out off the website, the functionalacademics.net website, where we have really easy access to them. Okay, you also have some of those initial portfolio indexes, or those their portfolio inventories inside the assessment testing kit. So in that pouch where you are beginning to do your student assessment, there is a pouch at the very back called portfolio, and there are a few initial forms, mostly around independent skills, social skills, and communication. It's a great place to start. Those are your original forms in the assessment kit, so make sure you take copies of them for each one of the student portfolios that you would like to set up. Okay. So read the portfolio teacher's manual. Sounds easy, but sometimes if we don't get to the manuals, it's a really easy read. It really explains the buy-in of why you're going to do this. If you have a print copy, then you have a print version in your classroom. If not, you can also access it on the digital website. Very easy read in UPDF forms. You can read it online or download it and read it at your own leisure. It's a great opportunity to flip through what some of those portfolio forms look like to get an idea of what the information is that you are trying to gain. Okay. So here's some of the areas that the portfolio covers. IEP and ITP. Doesn't mean you have to have an entire IEP in here, but they have a sheet called Goals at a Glance. It's really nice to just take a quick look and see what a student is looking at. I'm sorry, what a student is working on, instead of having to flip through the entire IEP. Just real quick glance to their IEP goals. What other related services are they receiving? Is it physical therapy? Is it outside speech? Is it applied behavior analysis? Can all of those service providers combine and contribute their expertise and the information on the student so that when you learn about this student, you know who to collaborate with and what they're working on? Communication and social skills, behavior, technology, personal management, leisure and recreation, community access, vocational, future planning. And I put a couple of stars next to the vocational because you will only see that in the secondary. I say to teachers, wouldn't it be amazing if you walked into a classroom on your first day and somebody handed you a student portfolio of each one of your students with all of this information in it? Wouldn't that be so amazing to start the year out with? You have an idea of how your students communicate, what behaviors to expect on the first day, how they're managing technology, how well they can take care of themselves, and what their goals are for the future. That is our goal here, teachers. So the more work you can do on this during the year, we understand that it's a work in progress and will be done throughout and over time. But we really create this system to set you up for that family partnership and also for your staff. How about all those new paraeducators you get every year, or new teachers, new teacher turnovers? Having all information in one place for your student is going to be incredibly helpful to create some consistency across your team. Here's some of the forms that you will get in touch with, become familiar with these portfolio forms. We have things like their resume. How do we put that together? To a little bit of a student introduction. This is a great place to either get a family or an actual student invoice through a conversation about that student. Quick reference forms like, hey, what motivates them? What can I use as reinforcers throughout the day? What about educational goals and future planning? Okay, so these are some of the forms that are included. We highly recommend when you go through the manual or even go into the website and poke around those content areas, open them up, look at them, and start to prioritize where you would like to begin with your students. Okay. So this is where we involve the family, talking about the introduction of this functional academics program. We include a template, a letter template, to send a letter home to the family to let them know what this program is and how you're going to start it with their family, with their student. And then we invite them to engage. Parent preference. Would you like to fill out these forms together? Would you like to have a meeting and talk about them? And then here's a family collaboration form. Here's a few things that you should know about us, our family members. I best collaborate when training, I really appreciate, etc. So this is an amazing opportunity to really open up that relationship and that line of communication with your families to let them know what you intend to do with the student in the classroom and how you can support the goals of the family that are already there. Okay, let's not forget that parents are the experts on their children. Parents and caregivers is what I'm going to include here as well. People who spend a lot of time with the students during the day or in the evening times and understand those really subtle nuances sometimes of how a child may be communicating or what those specific vocalizations mean can take a really long time for a teacher or a new education employee to understand and learn that. But if you're able to sit down with the family and have them explain these things to you, your relationship is going to get that much stronger with the student as well. Okay, so let's not forget and give credit to parents and actually include, request, and engage their voice in this process. And I guarantee your relationship with that family and the outcomes you'll have for that student will be much more positive. I highly encourage that you involve the students as well. Okay, asking the students to tell you about themselves. What do you like to do? What do you do in your free time? Who are your friends? Where do you go on the weekends? Where would you like to go? Hey, if we're gonna go on a field trip for school, what's like a really cool place you'd like to go? Where would you like to work in the future? Okay, some of these students may have never been asked these questions. I think oftentimes we do so much educating of and to and for the student, we forget to ask their opinion, their perspective, and what they would like to contribute. Okay, even showing them some of the learning materials in the curriculum itself and asking them if any of this is something they'd like to do. Like, hey, how would you like to be able to read all of these words? Or let's learn about math. Wouldn't it be so cool if you could manage your own money? These kind of things to get the students engaged, excited, and involved in what they're about to begin. Okay, so don't forget to get that student involved as well. I highly encourage the involvement of related service providers such as physical therapists, occupational therapists, definitely your speech and language pathologist. If any of your students are receiving applied behavior analysis therapy inside or outside of the schools, I'm talking about inside teams and external teams, okay? Can families help get you these papers to the outside providers? I think it's really important for inside and outside OTs to be collaborating together, same with PTs, and absolutely for communication. So get these forms to the people in the hands of the people who serve the child. Anyone who has skill, expertise, or is providing a service for the student, make sure that their contribution is a part of the student portfolio. It will all help define how the student is being educated, what their goals are, and ultimately what those student outcomes are going to be when running the functional academics program. Okay. I do want to let you know that the student portfolios are available in other languages. We have family inventories. I think we actually have the entire student portfolio program available in Spanish. The rest are the family inventories, just the ones that go home to families, available in Russian, Ukraine, Vietnamese, and Chinese. I highly recommend that when you meet with families of different cultures and communities and different backgrounds, that you really walk into that situation with empathy and humility. Remember that all kinds of different cultures view disability in different ways. It doesn't make it right or wrong, but it is just a different perspective. So when we ask a family what their vision of the future is for their child, some families may or may not have ever thought about that, and just keep that into mind, okay? When you're working with families with different languages, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a language barrier. So one of the best ways is, if you're in a meeting with a family, to lean on one of the bilingual family members. Usually that could be another school-age child, okay? And I highly recommend when you're meeting with families from other cultures and communities that are not your own to hold an in-person meeting. Those in-person meetings are going to give you an ability to build that relationship of trust much easier. And as you know, as we work with children who often have communication difficulties, we may use all sorts of different types of communication tactics, either sign or gestures or pictures, to try and get our point across. And so it's really important I highly recommend that you meet in person with families and set up interviews to be able to speak with them. Many school districts, especially in urban areas, do offer translation services. You can solicit a family translator to come and be a part of that team, if there are ones available in the languages that you need. If not, do your best, but I highly recommend these meetings. If families can fill out these forms in their own languages and you work with interpretation to be able to understand, perfect. Okay, you can then translate or put in English in the way that you need to, or just use the language forms as a guide to guide the conversation, and then you can type up your notes separately. So there's just a couple of my points of interest or points of view when working with families from different languages and cultural backgrounds. Okay. So this is the Functional Academics .NET website. This is what the student portfolio forms page looks like. You can see right up here, this is the manual, the teacher's manual. This is just a screenshot of the page, but there's actually more to it on the top. So these part 1s, part 2s, and 3s are very simple, easy reads from the portfolio manual. We do not have, as of yet, portfolio video clips, but we do have those family forms available in Spanish right here. If you would like the forms in the other languages that are mentioned, please reach out to us. Okay, so here's the sections for the portfolio. Those IEP, goals at a glance, related services, calm, behavior, community access, etc. When you click into each one of these buttons, you will find an introduction to that section, and then you'll see some hyperlinks for both school and family. So do take some time to do that. Let's see if I can get you in there right now, and let's take a look at what this page looks like. Okay, so when you get to the building student portfolio page, you will see the title. It'll flip and it'll let you know what this is all about. You will see the different parts of the portfolio here that are downloadable in PDFs. Let's click on communication and social skills inventories and see what that looks like. Okay, so here's an introduction to communication and social skills and why they are important. As you scroll down, you will see elementary and secondary, school, family, and at home. So let's take a look at elementary communication at home. How is the student communicating at home? A great example of how you would want to work with a family to understand what is happening at home. Okay, do they communicate in gestures, sign language, modified sign, augmentative communication devices? How does your child communicate those wants and needs or request attention or affection? How do you know if a vocalization or a word or, the difference between being in pain or just requesting something? So these are all really great things to talk about with families, okay? Again, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming to send this form home and have them fill it out. Alternatively, it could be a quick phone call or an in-person meeting to discuss these things, and then you add your notes as you go along. Okay, here's what a school inventory would look like. So those that work with the student in the classroom, okay, do they have spoken word? IA means independent or always. S is sometimes, and TN is total assistance or never. So you would go through here and mark which one of these ways the student is communicating, and then this section here actually links it really nicely to your curriculum content. So instructional priority, is it high, is it low? When you're going in to make your program decisions, look at the video, placing students in the curriculum. You will use this key as a guide to how you're going to select the programs. Okay, so that's it for student portfolio today. We appreciate you hanging out with us. So go for it, go create your student portfolios, and we highly encourage you to set up a schedule to interview your families. I highly recommend that you lean on your team to help fill out these inventories, not just yourself, and that you really work to bring as much information together as you know about the student. This will be really critical when you make your decisions for programming and levels of priority. Okay, so thank you so much, and stay tuned for the other videos that we have in this series.